welcome everybody to another week of Vengeance CTF. My name is Xenaero and I am joined by Commissioner HumanBones. Welcome to the show, Bones.
Thank you.
I'll turn you up just a little bit, but we have... Describe for us what we're looking down the barrel of here today.
Well, we're looking down the barrel at the best team in the league, EDR, going up against SOS. And we'll actually be playing a map that might be familiar to a lot of people, although it'll look a little bit different because it is Lazarus Reinvented, which is an updated version of Smart CTF Map 6, which has become in recent years one of the more popular maps in league competitions. So this has really been our first chance to look at that. And EDR is... Like I mentioned, they're at the top of the leaderboards. There's no chance for them to lose that top spot. So this is really about SOS trying to get themselves a better spot, better seeding for the playoffs.
All right, now we're talking about better seeding for the playoffs. In Vengeance, there is a 4-week season, and we are at the last couple games of that season. Here we have EDR versus SOS, and later on today we'll have your own team. Here's the mid against TCO. We'll have that in about an hour from now as real time progresses, but these vlogs will be uploaded on the Multiplayer Doom Federation YouTube. With that out of the way, we'll jump in the server and give you guys kind of an overview of the map. This is as Bones has said, this is a very popular map. It's a mainstay for Doom competition over many years. Chain has since revisited the map, hence the name, and we'll go over the key differences and introduce anyone new to CTF who doesn't really know the map really off the top of their head.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is Chain kind of made this map, and then very shortly after that left the community for about 10 years, and during that time, that's when the map became super popular. So when he came back, he looked at it and he said, well, geez, like this is kind of really cramped. You know, I don't like some of these spawns in the middle. So what he did was basically he made all the hallways just a little bit wider, and he made everything in his mind kind of flow a little bit better. And his maps are generally speaking geared heavily towards runners. So you know, it's hard for someone to defend these maps, which actually revolutionized the way that we play CTF. You know, typically speaking, the early CTF maps were very heavy on defense. I mean, there wasn't really a style for CTF maps yet. So with Chain and Smart CTF, his maps, like I mentioned, really kind of emphasized running and scoring flags. So that's, you know, creating a bunch of different ways into the base and, you know, creating opportunities for a lot of teamwork. So if you saw really quickly before we got to the hub map, there's a lift there that leads into the main base of each flag room. A lot of times on that map, the mid will lower the lift for someone that's about to grab the flag, and there's a lot of team play that can come out of that. So yeah, let's vote to look at the map again. But it's a really interesting retexturing, a little bit of a reworking of a popular map, which doesn't always go over well, although I have not seen too many complaints yet about this current update.
And when we get back into map, I'll show kind of the big key differences. Now, when we talked about how the map was flowing, what happens here in the mid is much wider. Typically before, you had pretty much kind of just this spot here that was all you had, plus the tunnels to finesse around before you got to a staircase that was more angled than this one. You now have a more expanded mid with a little bit more hard cover, so it's not fully wide open. In addition to that, a little bit easier to jump up to the top here on an alternate higher ground path, which can lead either way into a side chamber, dropping down into green armor. The liquid is a little bit easier to see through now. The upper chain gun spawn is more wide open. You can still make the jump up here into kind of a holding area with 2 medkits. Very common for runners to sit here. The flag room itself is a little bit wider. And moving back into the teleport room, I think you can still make this jump. maybe not by default, but by rockets for sure.
Yes.
That teleport will lead
believe
you
the
back
jump-
out to the chain gun room, and then the same holds true for the other side. As all Doom CTF maps are, they are symmetrical.
Yeah, even though the map, a lot of the portions of the map have been made a little bit wider, the sort of muscle memory and game physics of making certain jumps have remained the same. You just have to, you can make all the jumps the same. You can make all the, different avenues of running through the map and the way that you might as a runner or a defender. Those are all the same. It's just a little bit of a wider area, although I will say the biggest changes probably are the added spawns in the middle, and the mid actually does look a little bit different. There's a little bit more, it's a little bit more wide open with a little bit more coverage, so that's the major difference, I think.
There's a little bit more room here too, I've noticed, with the lift that lowers.
Yes.
That leads into the flag room directly from mid. So there is a pretty common strategy runners will take, where they'll grab the flag, hit the button, and either sit there, or depending on what intel they're getting from the rest of their team, they'll run back out and fly right through the mid like this. Now, what Bones was saying is true. The flow really hasn't changed that much because the spawns are practically the same. You don't have the overhead spawn anymore, so I'm not sure. I think only the shotgun spawns to the forward. Oh no, they are here. They're right here. They're over here in the corner now.
They've moved over to the corner, which makes it a little bit more difficult for the way that a lot of players would play mid previously, which was to really camp right on top of that mid SSG. Now the spawns are a little bit more spread out, so it makes it harder for a mid to do that.
Yeah, so a common, with the spawns that used to be like pretty much directly situated over mid, it was much easier for a single player to dominate mid. That is a pretty good change, and shows just how good players have gotten, even in the last couple of years since the original Lazarus CTF. Players have adapted and really forced map makers to make changes or even look at maps a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, we tend to make things a little bit easier for runners these days, and I know that that's kind of a long-standing argument between certain factions of players, because, as I mentioned earlier, the maps that came out when CTF was first released were pretty grindy. You know, they were still sort of modeling them off of, your classic DM maps. And then as the game evolved, we said, well, wouldn't it be cooler to see a game that ends with, the score 5-4 instead of 5-0? And so maps kind of adjusted that way to what we have today, which is pretty much every map that gets made is that isn't a map that is favorable to runners is often looked down upon. So there's two factions of players that have very differing opinions on what maps qualify as good CTF maps and which maps don't. So
yeah, and you'll have that as different players have different styles as well. Now we're going to be getting into round 1, I believe, EDR versus SOS. Vengeance does work a little bit differently than the World Doom League, and I assume many other CTF leagues, where there is a mercy rule. If by the end of round 2, one team is up by 6 flags or more, there will be no round 3.
I'm very happy that it was you that explained that this time, because I feel like I don't do a great job.
It's okay, we've had a couple of goes to figure it out, and if this is your first time watching Doom capture the flag in a competitive environment, you're in for a treat as we start off watching Slared on SOS, taking a more defensive stance for red team. Moving up to... where is the flag carrier? It's been dropped and returned already. EDR...
Well, actually, yeah, one flag carrier got across the middle, but they returned it.
Yeah, in this port, it's a little difficult to track the carrier as it stands, so bear with us as we try to keep track of what's going on in the map. Tiger drops it.
Flags are out.
TFW. Yeah, these flags are across mid. Taking this tunnel side passage, which we didn't actually show, but it will lead through mid to the back of the flag base in that nukage pit there you see, which you can jump back up. And what a great return from TFW.
Yeah, that was actually 2 great returns by both teams. Slayer got a good return in the tunnel on his flag, and TFW got a good one there.
And TFW, like, cross mid, being hounded by members of SOS, but it is a successful pickup, and Blue does take a 1 flag lead early on.
Yeah, that was good teamwork from EDR getting that flag across. And now SOS needs to figure out where their flag is.
It doesn't look like he took that much damage on that rocket jump, letting him get out, but with the invention of voice communication, that position gets called very quickly.
One thing I wanted to add, actually, that I forgot to mention was that tunnel that he rocket jumped into. When you pick things up, so health packets, armor packets, you can actually hear that from the flag room now. I don't recall that being a thing previously, so that's a little added element there.
Yeah, the way Doom's sound curve works, you can hear things through walls as long as they're within a certain radius, unless there are certain properties of the lines that make up the map. They can block sound, but if the author chooses not to, it can provide valuable intel. Tigers
SOS
making try to get out here with the flag dropped, and TFW has a score. Excellent assist there. A rocket suicide to reset your health, which is valuable on a map like this. And it's just flag touch after flag touch.
Yeah, SOS is getting kind of burned here. I mean, they're getting returns, but you know, if you keep letting the flag get out across the middle, you're eventually going to get burned completely, which is what's happening to them so far. A good run from Turkey here. Even better return from Sharp.
And a good attempt to try to get it out to mid to where you can kind of relay race it across a map like this. So they're trying to return this flag, and a successful Tiger with the flag out to mid and dropped.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about this map is a lot of times to have a really successful run, you kind of just need to burn the defender once. Because like I said, there's so many ways out of here. Oh my god, I don't know if you saw that return from OJ, but he shot through the right side of the lift. That was pretty cool.
No, we were watching the other flag carrier. But it looks like a general reset, except for the red flag that's up top here. They left it. It's very dangerous to leave your flag there, where it can easily be brought out to mid and practically on. Oh wait, no, I'm watching the wrong person. Oh jeez.
As the red flag gets out again, and Slayer is right behind him.
And there's some cover from EDR in motion. Good double there to clear the mid, and EDR is just walking over SOS in round 1 here. SOS has to wake up or come up with some strategy in order to get themselves back in the game, going down 3 flags. Even if this is the final score of the round, it's still not good to be down this many with just under 6 minutes left.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the way that you have to defend this map is really about your positioning, because if a runner can come in from any different direction, they can run right by you as a defender, and you won't have a chance to catch them as EDR scores their 4th flag.
Turkey trying to get a cap back, but can't get past the flag rim. EDR now up 4-0. The score limit is 5.
Oh, so
TFW
Slayer makes that jump.
Oh, now the flag carriers are staring each other down in the blue sewers.
Yep. And they know. I mean, I'm sure that he's telling his team.
Oh, it's typed out of the air.
That was great.
If Slayer was the loser in that battle, the game would be over, but that was a very clutch return from their own flag carrier.
He also made the SR-50 jump from the ledge to the tunnel. No rocket jumping. So that was a great...
Oh, so that jump still is possible. That's good to know.
Yep. It's hard to do, especially in the heat of the moment in the game. You have the flag. So that was cool.
Trying to keep track of the flag carriers here. Tiger drops the lift only to get blasted in the face. And who is Mir Joven?
That is Sharp.
Okay, well, Sharp ate a rocket.
That is a word I can't pronounce. Yeah, there's a flag stand up right now.
We do have graphics that show the player's typical name, so if you plan to play and get your game broadcasted, probably best to go by that.
Yes, if you want us to compliment you and not someone else, please. So Slayer trying to get the return.
Tiger showed off where that that holding spot was with the 2 med kicks, but he wasn't able to hold off against multiple players there. Oh my goodness, what a last-second return from Turkey. And Turkey's out, but he needs that cover.
Tiger trying to support him. There you go. They might have this if they can, if they can stop TFW.
They are trying to.
There you go.
Oh, there it is. A good return.
Great.
There from Tiger, allowing Turkey to capture their only flag so far. With 3 minutes 30 seconds left, they have to start moving those legs, get those flags back to their base.
That was great cover, great return from Tiger. Did a really good job. But Sharp makes it across. Tiger, the last chance.
And OJ with the final score, 5-1 in round 1.
Well, whatever SOS did on that last capture, that was some good stuff from them. They had some really good returns too, and they had that jump from Slayer. But EDR just kind of overpowered them with what looked like a 2-0, pincering of the defender, which is on that map is really it can be deadly if you don't have a strong mid to support your defender.
Yeah, it is tough. In a map that's very linear like that, the defender does not have many chances to return the flag after they get burned once. So we're going into round 2. EDR is 4 flags ahead.
Yep, so there's still life for SOS yet. And they got that flag pretty late in that round, so let's see if any of that momentum carries over.
Flag taken.
And Tiger with the first flag touch of the game. Turkey trying a pickup, but it is get returned. Meanwhile, TFW has the flag, tries to run out, gets blasted, it gets returned. No early captures in the first set of spawns for either team, but EDR only needs 2 more flags to seal off round 3. Or a margin of 2 flags, I should say.
Yeah, and what I'm noticing already is that Slayer, as the defender, is trying to push up a little bit more. So that might be one adjustment to take a look at.
Sharp trying to get out, but he's not a phantom, so he can't just slide right through an enemy player.
Tiger made a good jump across the middle there, but wasn't able to get all the way over. Well, let's see, where is OJ with the red flag? Well, nice return from Turkey.
Yeah, TFW out through mid in the sewer.
Out already. Wow. I bet you they don't even know.
And that's first blood for EDR. 1 flag, pretty much halfway there.
Yep. TFW going for a 2 flags and 1 life scenario here. Gets through the tunnel again. Okay, gets taken down.
Oh, Caster's curse. Start calling it out. Get dropped.
Can I cast my own game? Curse the other team?
That's not how that works.
Nah.
And Sharp looking for... Oh, he's doing the lift and then going back around. We brought that up in the pregame. That is something runners like to do, but he's being dogged down by the chain gun drops into the water, waits for him to drop in front of him. But he is spotted for sure. And his position is no longer secret. We don't know how much health he's trying to come. Oh, we saw the red player just below on the edge of the screen, waiting for him to drop back over.
But look at this. OJ either did a rocket jump or jumped through the enemy's tunnel, and he goes into his own. And now he's just going to camp and let his team return the flag.
I don't know how much health OJ might have, so he might be able to survive an encounter or 2 before he drops here.
He does have 7 rockets. So that's not as many as I'm sure he's hoping for.
Look, all you need is 1 rocket.
Well, that's true.
And Tiger...
Okay, you're right. He only needs 1 rocket.
There you go. And it got returned, so it's on OJ to score it. He does. 2-0 for EDR.
Well, right now we are at the 6 flag difference, so we gotta be looking for SOS to close that gap. Although,
good shotgun work, great shotgun work from OJ, clearing out the entire enemy team to return the flag for his team and get another and assist greatly in getting another score from TFW.
Before I could even say what was going on, EDR managed to get the flag across the middle. in like record time.
Absolutely
here we go,
incredible.
SOS,
Although we have a
hopefully got that
catback from Turkey.
Very nice. EDR not happy about that one. But there is
Phenomenal
something that's
shotgun
working for
work
us. Turkey's getting some good caps out.
Turkey with another touch, but stares at the ground. Gotta aim a little bit higher if you want to try to one-shot these players.
What a nice shot from Slayer to return that.
Sharp trying to get out, but had very little health to speak of. Tiger has the flag, and with help from his team, are on the board in a much more assertive position than they were last round. 3-2 in favor of EDR. SOS trailing by 1 flag.
Blue flag taken.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tiger and Turkey... Tiger missed the jump to the tunnel, but Tiger and Turkey are getting a little bit more pressure on the defender, and they're working really well together, so that's forcing EDR out of position a little bit here, and it's giving Slayer a better opportunity to defend.
We're watching Despero right here, who surprises the other carrier, although he got swarmed by the entire blue team. No hope there. Now they have to return the flag if Despero is going to actually score this flag. It looks like it might happen, but there's a presence in the enemy base.
Wow. That was good work. You see EDR's all jumbled up in the middle now. They're not really getting as many flag touches as they were previously.
And that is a disadvantage of having the entire enemy team, or the entire team in whatever respect, in one side of the map. It allowed SOS to position themselves well. Having all 3 blue players in the sewer was not the greatest idea.
Tiger making a great run across here. If they can just return this, I think that's a tie.
That's a double kill for Turkey. That's a great...
Nice job.
Tied up now in round 2, 3-3. SOS waking up.
We do have to return this, though. Oh, he runs right by Tiger. Tiger misses.
And it gets returned by Turkey.
Anyway.
Trying to find out where Tiger is. Oh, it got returned before I could switch to the other carrier.
Ooh. OJ's starting to use those rockets as a defender. My favorite.
Watching Tiger touch the flag, but he only gets the touch.
OJ shot a little too early and then adjusted.
Red flag taken.
TFW with a touch. And all is
that's
quiet
the thing on this map. If you can have 2 guys running against a defender, it's really hard for the defender to stop that 100% of the time. You have to equal the pressure that your enemy is putting on you. Oh, and the lift trick.
Yeah,
working for Tiger. He gets across.
As we saw, and he kind of does a little twirl there and gets blasted by a shotgun, but it's a mutual return. Tiger going to drop the lift first.
You're not the only one who can dance.
He triggers the lift prematurely to let himself get out of there without losing any momentum. But he's not able to swing on Shane.
They're doing some really good stuff here, though.
Red flag taken. Flag taken.
Tiger with another touch coming out the lift. Tries to make it across, doesn't. But there's a pickup. Turkey gets the pickup. And Tiger cover.
Trying to find Turkey. There it is. He scores. SOS in the lead for the first time this series so far, and effectively guaranteeing a round 3.
Absolutely. It's quite a turnaround from round 1. They still have a couple flags to catch up on. Tiger makes the same jump I was talking about.
And Shane's out to mid with cover from his teammate, but they need it returned, and it does get returned. 4-4. We're in sudden death. 2 minutes left.
I sense sudden death coming for someone here. Tiger with another pickup.
Red flag taken.
Oh! Surprise!
He do. Yeah, right. That was pretty good.
Flag taken.
Right,
Both teams
TFW
scrambling to try
like
to get one flag out, but it gets the red flag is returned at mid.
Yeah, you can see the amount of pressure that SOS is putting. They've been out in the middle so much more than they were the first round.
Well, the pressure was not enough as Mir Joven scores the last flag. who's that again?
Sharp.
Sharp. Okay. But that's the end of round 2. EDR has won round 2, but we do get a round 3. Just because you win the first 2 rounds does not mean that it's a closeout.
So right now, SOS needs to get 5 flags and shut out their opponent in order to make a full tie on flags. So the flag difference right now is 10 flags for EDR and 5 flags for SOS.
So SOS is up against the wall. If they lose 1 flag, they are out for the week. Are they eliminated from the playoffs if they lose this?
No, they are not.
They are not. So
it's going to depend on some of the other teams that play, but SOS has positioned themselves pretty well, I believe. I can tell you that in 1 second. As soon as we enter into round 3.
SOS came very close to winning that round. Now we're going to see if their strategy adapts in any way in round 3.
Yeah, so SOS is actually guaranteed a spot in the playoff, which is good. So now they're really just fighting for seeding here. If they can tie, which is their best placement that they can get moving forward, their possible seedings are 2nd, 3rd, or 4th.
We see a lot of good shotgun work from Slayer early on in the game, clearing out mid pretty effectively, landing a lot of solid shots, showing the versatility and power of a super shotgun, even at range.
Yeah, and Slayer has adjusted really well to what EDR is doing. I mean, as I mentioned, he was playing really far back in the base round 1. He pushed himself out to the middle. Can you get the return?
And it is one score for EDR, so SOS has lost this week. But, you know,
this is true.
They played 2 round 3, which was not entirely expected after we saw the results of round 1.
For sure, and they're the only team that has taken EDR to a round 3 this season. So that's something to hang their hat on, and, you know, they can work on some more of this with this map. They can work on some more teams.
So out of the 4 games that EDR has played, this is the only one that they've been forced to play round 3.
Yep.
Well, there you have it, folks. These are our favorites to win this Vengeance League.
Oh, Slayer had a jump on him, but someone beat him.
Good work from TFW to clear out that flag room as well. I'm gonna try to switch to the Tiger. We watched him get blasted out of the air, no problem.
Yeah, so SOS is going to lose in 3, which means they could end up anywhere from seeds 3 to 6, depending on the other matchups.
Ooh, good shot from Sharp. Try to drop it up top, but they have to return it. They have to return it. You can get the flag all you like, but you got to return that last flag. He's being chased. It does get returned. Taken again, and then the red flag is returned. What a mess.
Yeah. It's been a pretty wild game of returns, I have to say. Both teams doing a good job.
And SOS coming out ahead in that prolonged flag-on-flag violence.
And you know what's great is they know that they've lost, but they're still fighting.
Shows spirit, and also another opportunity for them to work on cohesion and synergy. But in the meantime, Despero says, "I'm just going to capture a flag, no problem. It's no big deal." Gets through there relatively untouched. 3-1 for EDR in round 3.
Yeah, and you have to give it up to EDR. I mean, undefeated in terms of games played, as Sharp actually does the jump and gets into the tunnel here. See if Slayer can get a return. He can't, so Sharp is out in his own tunnel.
We're watching Sharp right now, trying to get past. Oh, he's being dogged down, but I think the cover was there for him. Now it comes down to which carrier will fall first. Turns out, SOS fell. SOS having to send out an SOS here in round 3. 4-1. EDR reasserting themselves.
EDR has been very dominant in the regular season. We all know that that really doesn't matter until we get to the playoffs, but they've positioned themselves as best as anyone can in the league moving forward. So every game moving forward is going to be on EDR's home turf.
Now, in the space while we pretty much know the map result here so far, and there's nothing SOS can really do. Why don't you explain how the seeding works in the Vengeance League?
Flag taken.
Well, it's very similar to any other league. There will be two teams that get the first round bye there, the first and second seed, and then it will be the subsequent matchups, 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5. And those two matches will, whoever the winners of those will face the first and second seeds. So basically, the higher seed, you're going to get 2 matches on your home field map, and if you were the other team, actually you always get a chance to play your home field map. So it's best of 5. So you'll get 2 matches on the higher seeds team, and then the lower seed team will get they're guaranteed at least 1 round on their own map. So that's kind of how the seeding works. I know I explained that a little strange, but...
Alright, so, in essence, the higher seed gets a guaranteed 2 maps in a raw best of 5, which means they can, 3 maps, they can shut out the other team. And if it goes to map 5, it is also the higher seed's pick, I assume?
Correct. So the bounce back and forth will be 2... Basically, it's 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. So after the first 2 from the higher seed, it'll bounce back and forth between the home fields any subsequent round. 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1.
All right, and we'll be seeing EDR in at least the quarterfinals. They will be, I presume that they will be skipping the first round of playoffs.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that is it for EDR versus SOS for the end of their regular season. Coming up soon, we will have... I should probably have this in front of me. We'll
have TCO versus HTM.
The Chosen Ones versus Here's the Mid. And what team do you play for, HumanBones?
I play for Here's the Mid.
So we'll be seeing
my
Commissioner... Yeah, Ty's team, Here's the Mid, and Commissioner HumanBones, who is so graciously co-hosted with me today for this game. We'll be seeing them on map 53, this map you're seeing right now on your screen, in about 30 minutes from now. So we'll be going offline. The VOD will be uploaded to the MDF YouTube. And in the chat there is a link to the Doom Federation website with Discord link on just past the jump there. Lots of games happen on the multiplayer Doom Federation. We do games on Xandronum, Z-Daemon, Odomex, whole variety of game modes to suit your palate. We'll be signing off here in just a second, but if you got some time later on today, we'll be seeing the final game of Week 4 in about, 25-30 minutes from now. But if you are headed out for the evening...
Depends on when Ty shows up.
Well, hopefully he'll show up on time today.
On time. Ty time.
Okay. Well, we'll be out of here. Thanks for joining us, HumanBones, and thank you all for watching this broadcast of the Vengeance League. We'll play you out. We'll see you soon.